Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about why I love John Green's novels. I chose this topic because it's been declared John Green Week by this really awesome-tastic website called I Eat Words. There will be a link to this website down in the doobly-doo. Yeah, so check it out. I think they're having a John Green book giveaway, so you should definitely take a look at the site if you like reading or John Green books or want to read John Green books, and try one. So, I feel like I should start by stating that I don't often read realistic fiction. However, John Green writes realistic fiction novels that actually appeal to me. I really, really want to read his books. I'm not just reading them in an attempt to broaden my horizons or read a more well-rounded assortment of things. What I like about his books is that I can relate to his characters. In both Paper Towns and An Abundance of Catherines, I felt as if I would get along with his nerdy, because the term is subjective, male characters. Throughout An Abundance of Catherines, I just wanted to comfort Colin and make him feel less insecure. Had he been real, I probably would have given him a hug. So yeah. Anyway, I liked John Green's sense of humor in each book. The humor in Paper Towns was absolutely endless. There were all sorts of odd occurrences, and I don't want to spoil the book by mentioning them all. However, I don't think I'll ever forget how the male characters referred to attractive females as honey bunnies. I thought it was sort of strange, and it definitely caught my attention. In An Abundance of Catherines, there was a lot of subtle humor. There was a simile that I believe a lot of readers will remember, and there was a lot of interesting facts, and a lot of the facts were in some ways humorous, and then there were Colin's attempts at storytelling, which were entertaining. So the book as a whole was speckled with humor. I like that because John Green, he paints his books with these brush strokes of humor. They're not like typical realistic fiction, or what I consider to be realistic fiction, typical of realistic fiction in my opinion. They're not, mundane, shallow, or depressing. And so I like that he was able to have these books that address these range of emotions that the characters feel, yet at the same time are painted up in humor, And so I really appreciated that he is able to do that. And I feel like that's a thing that a lot of authors can't do. And I feel like it makes his books special and a pleasure to read. They're different in that way. He also manages to convey life lessons in his books without seeming too preachy. And I like that he makes it so that the reader can clearly understand the point he's trying to get across. And throughout the course of the novel, you find yourself becoming more receptive to the idea and more open-minded. And I like that he doesn't overdo it, though. He lets you interpret it in your own way and leaves it up to the reader to be receptive to his message. And I like that. I like that I suppose, it's been said before, but he doesn't talk down to his reader, even though he's writing for young adults, and, he's not a young adult. But I really appreciate that, and I feel like, for example, I was reading Paper Towns, and originally I was not receptive to the idea that people are not how we perceive them, because I was going through something at the time where there was this person and they had done this assortment of things to make me miserable, and they were sort of just a really bad person. So I was reading this book and it made me question my perception of this person, which wasn't something I wanted to do, because this person put me through a lot, and they're not exactly someone I can pity, or can afford to pity. And so, while reading this book, I wanted to try to understand them, I guess, but I knew that it was a lost cause. And so, there was this catch-22 while I read it, and it bothered me a little bit. I think that maybe I read it at the wrong time in my life, and it wasn't the right thing for that time in my life. But as I continued reading, I actually grew to enjoy the book. And then there was An Abundance of Catherines, which I really enjoyed. But again, I probably didn't read that at the best time possible. I read it a little while after I had recently broken up with my ex-boyfriend, and so reading about Colin going through his breakup, it made me feel kind of guilty for breaking up with this guy. And not only that, but it made me just feel kind of sad and nostalgic about the whole situation. And so, probably not the right thing for that time in my life, but I did enjoy both books regardless of the fact that I read them at a point in time where I probably, could have afforded to wait a little while and read them later. So they were really great books overall, and I enjoyed them a lot, despite, I guess, the challenges I was going through at that time that, in my mind correlated with the general plot or themes of the books. And so I guess I'm going to ask a question for the comments, and then I'm going to wrap this video up. So, my question for you is, are you excited for A Fault in Our Stars? I know I am, because I think this will be the first time that I've read something by him that's, I think he's published something that's written through the perspective of a female, and so I'd like to see how this character is different from his male characters. And I'm sure in a lot of ways, there won't be huge differences, it's just a gender switch. But I'm interested to read it. I'm interested to see something fresh from him. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for A Fault in Our Stars? That's the question I'm going to end this video with. Bye, YouTube. Really enjoyed talking to you all.